Hello, and welcome to Nose, the podcast that is now on video. Hence, why you see us on video. I'm Geno.
And I'm Michael Kutza.
Or Geno Suarez. I didn't really think it was that important. So, what are we here to discuss today?
Well, we went to a movie, an actual movie theater with a lot of people. We wore masks and we saw Death on the Nile.
I like how you have to preface that.
I hated wearing the mask watching that movie. I hated it.
But yes, we went to go see Death on the Nile, directed by
Kenneth Branagh.
who also directed
Murder on the Orient Express.
which is the sequel or the prequel to this movie. So this is the second installation in a 1 to 2 part series. Although these movies were also created in the 1930s and 40s with the same titles, Murder on the Orient Express and Death on the Nile, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
There we go. There's the synopsis on that.
And they're all by Agatha Christie, who is a remarkable writer of murder mysteries and detective stories. That's her specialty.
From back in the day. She's not a modern writer. She's a writer from the 1930s and 40s who created the series, hence the original movies.
Correct. What I like about this Death of the Nile, I mean, first of all, this is not an important film. It's just a lot of fun. I think I went to see it just to have fun.
Okay. It sounds like most criminal movies.
Well,
or mystery movies, I would say.
I went to thoroughly enjoy the cast and the people, and I had a good experience. But I don't want to make it like it's important. It's a fluffy kind of film with pretty people and rich settings, and
Yeah, it's a modern day entertainment piece.
Exactly.
It's almost the, I guess the modern day rework of Clue, even though they redid that already with Knives Out, but same concept of movie.
And actually, it's pretty sexy when you think about it, even though everyone ends up dying.
No, and everyone doesn't end up dying. Some people die, not everyone ends up dying.
Agatha Christie. Everyone dies in Agatha Christie.
But not in this one. Although I will say, I thought the movie died when Armie Hammer came out, because...
Armie Hammer is so sexy, and the woman he's having, I mean, he's doing a tango or a dancing in the opening of this film, where he's basically in every sexual position in life on this girl.
Well, the actress is a great actress as well.
And she's terrific. A TV show, a series I got hooked on called Sex Education. She's the star of it.
And she's also like a star in the Fast and the Furious movies. She's in a lot of stuff.
Do you see this stuff? Emma
Yes.
something or other. Emma McKay is her name.
I'm not talking about her. I was talking about Gal.
I'm talking the one he's basically having sex with.
I'm talking
on
about the
screen.
star, Gal.
She's a star which I didn't really care about. The one Wonder Woman, yes.
Yeah, she's quite famous in a lot of things.
But the other one is much sexier.
Interesting that that's your perspective, because most people would do the inverse. But either way, regardless of the fact,
I was taken back by the whole dance scene. I said, wow.
Costume design for the movie was great. Set design was also great. Locations were also really great. I don't know how much of the movie was CGI.
None of it was real.
Well, that's usually how Hollywood is, but...
I bought into it. I truly believed they shot it in Egypt. I thought it was so well done. And then I later learned it was all shot in a studio in London, which is good for them. They did a beautiful camera work. It's beautiful.
It probably costs just as much to fly there and film it than it would to straight up just do a CGI.
Even the boat, because this all takes place on a luxurious boat.
Well, that I knew was fake. That's always a set design.
I thought it was real.
Oh, no way. I figured
I
was...
I believe the boat.
Well, you just believe the movie making.
Yeah, and you know what's nice about this thing is, see, on the Orient Express, you're trapped in the same old car on this same old train. On this boat, they went everywhere. They went throughout every inch of it, which made it much more interesting. It gave more leverage to play with the story.
Although I will say, in that statement, it was kind of weird, some of the places that they were. It felt almost as if they were fishing for locations, because Poirot, which is the head of Kenneth Branagh, the guy who directed the movies,
yeah.
He had everybody in different locations. So one of the interactions was him interviewing someone in the boiler room. I was like, it's hot as hell in the boiler room, and it's dark.
Wherever murders took place, and it was everywhere, he was there shooting it, talking to them, interviewing.
I know that. I'm just saying, I don't understand why you would choose a dark, hot room to do an interview when this is a huge boat, but that's besides the point.
Well, if you really remember, the bodies are kept in one place after they're dead in this movie.
After they fish them up, or fish
They
one of
happen to
them
be
up.
laid out in the boiler room. Anyway,
I don't know why. It's the hottest room. Like when bodies sweat. I don't know. It's like what I told you about the story in Puerto Rico.
It's a fantasy.
Hot bodies and 90-degree heat don't go
Did
well.
you enjoy the film?
Yes, I did enjoy the film the first time watching it in theaters. I do say that I watched it again with my boyfriend as a refresher previous to this podcast, and it was boring. So it's definitely a one-time watch movie where you are surprised and you're enthralled and you go through the story, but after the second time, there really is no need to watch it because you know the story and it kind of dilutes the fun of it. Not saying that it takes away from the acting or takes away from the location and any of that.
That's the way you feel about it. But you bring up something interesting. As you know, the theater business is in deep trouble because people are not going back to the movies. We saw it on the big screen. But you do now have the choice of just staying home and watching this thing on television. It's just a shame.
Yeah, at
It's a
home,
shame.
I don't know if it was because I had seen it the second time that it wasn't interesting or because I was watching it at home and I was also kind of doing other things because I had seen it. It just wasn't as stimulating. Although, I guess the second time around when you watch it, you start to see more holes in the story and weirder things that could have been done correctly or not the way that they were done that time in the movie. So it's kind of a...
You know what I'm talking about how the theaters, because you could just stay home and see it rather than going and...
Makes it easier to watch, but it's not as...
It's still killing the theater business is what it's doing. It's a shame.
Yeah, but nonetheless, that is part of technology.
I just enjoyed the whole experience, and I had forgotten the original film, but I liked the cast members. I didn't recognize some because they've gotten older, and I thought Kenneth was far superior than he's been in a lifetime of movies. He's a difficult actor. He's a fine actor. He was up for an Oscar this year for Best Film with Belfast, and he got an Oscar for Best Screenplay. He's a terribly talented, obnoxious egomaniac.
Well, you don't get the title Sir in England
Unless you're obnoxious.
unless you're an obnoxious old dude.
He's mellowed a lot. He was here in Chicago for the Chicago International Film Festival. Best behavior, lovable kind of guy.
Well,
That's a new Kenneth Branagh.
Well, I think that's what happens with age. People tend to mellow out.
He's only 61.
Yeah, that's still... I'm 25. That, to me, is
You got to make
3 lifetimes away.
You got to make it to 30. You got to try.
Honestly, it's scary thinking about it.
Well, anyway, I had a ball. I'll watch it again. I love this Emma lady.
I wouldn't watch it again, but I would recommend someone to go watch it if they have not seen it. If you are going to watch it, I would start with Murder on the Orient Express, the second iteration, so that you are watching and understanding.
How do you find that? Where would I find that?
Anywhere on the internet, Prime Video. I'm sure you could rent it on iTunes. It's not that hard to find. I'm sure
I would like to do that.
I'm sure you could find it on Comcast. After we cut this, we'll help.
I'd like to watch the real one, the first one.
Well, that's what we've been struggling with.
1978.
We personally have been struggling trying to find the original ones because they're not on any of the streaming services.
I didn't like it when I first saw it back then. Famous director did it, Sidney Lumet, and a lot of big stars, but I thought it was really foolish. But now that they say it's airing on TV a lot, I'd love to see that.
Yeah, I wonder what channel it's on. Maybe on Turner Classic Movies? I have no idea. Either way, though, I personally would recommend for someone who hasn't seen the movies to go see it. The set design is great. The location design is great.
The camera work is wonderful.
Camera work is great.
It's wonderful.
It's an overall great movie to go watch. It doesn't feel as long as it is because it is a little bit over 2 hours, but I think the constant turning of events and the quick pace of the movie make it not seem that long.
I didn't even know that it was 2 hours.
I think it's a little over 2 hours.
My only problem is I hated wearing the mask throughout the whole thing.
I think that's what everyone's problem is, but that's disregarding of the movie.
Anyway, now you see us. We don't see you, but we'll see you next time.
In imagination, we see you.
We'll see you next time.
Thank you for watching. There will be definitely more videos of me and Michael as the podcast develops more. Stay tuned, and if you like the video, let us know.